Another chance to visit training camp on this edition of Defending the Kingdom. And of course, Defending the Kingdom brought to you by Ticketmaster, your friends all throughout the year for special events, any events, and also by Mosaic. Mosaic is our official training camp sponsor here in St. Joseph during the duration of camp, and they're the official healthcare provider of the Kansas City Chiefs at camp. They are a member of the Mayo Clinic Care Network. It's huge. And then they invest in the future of healthcare. They invest in the people, their technology, their services, but they want the best and safest care and keeping local. They have a giant footprint in the four-state area, and Mosaic is awesome for us here and all year long for all of you.
Holthus keeps it on an RPO at the 5, gets a lead block, he goes into the end zone near side, touchdown, Kansas City!
Hi everyone, I'm Mitch Holthus, voice of the Chiefs, along with senior team reporter Matt McMullen. This Defending the Kingdom is going to be entitled Click and Drag, because the next two pieces of evaluation make a folder for roster construction, then click and drag the next 3-day push, which we're in right now, and drag it over there, and then the first preseason game. Drag it over there too, because all of the evaluation, all of that, all of this, on Saturday night, all of that, all is part of trying to decide who the 53-man roster is and the 69-man group that includes the 16-man practice squad.
Yeah, the entire offseason is all about checkpoints, right? And we've been talking about this since April when phase 1 of the offseason training program began, and that was just like weightlifting and team meetings, stuff like that. Well, we're finally at the point where we're truly in the dog days of camp right now. Today was day 12 of training camp. We've lost track of the day of the week.
I have no idea what day it is.
I think it's Tuesday.
Okay.
It could be Wednesday. I don't know.
I'll take your word for it.
But this was also practice number 6 in pads so far in camp. And like you said, a couple more on the horizon. But we play a game on Saturday. And I know it's just the preseason and not everyone loves the preseason. But for the first time, for a lot of these players that are fighting to make this roster, they can go out there and put something on tape against an actual opponent, not just their teammates out here. And we all know that when you're out there on the field playing actual football in a game, it's just a little bit different. How do these players that are fighting to make this roster respond to that environment? Because while, yeah, the game doesn't matter in the standings, they're playing against players on the other side, on the Cardinals, who are trying to make that team. So while it's not that big of a deal, it also kind of is, because the intensity for these players that are fighting to make a roster is as high as ever.
I remember asking Coach before camp, how much evaluation? He goes, everything, every practice, every play, every practice. That means every play in these 3 days, dog days, the third phase, third push we call it, and then every play of the preseason game. Because we have seen it. We have seen guys climb in preseason games or retreat in preseason games. And then we've seen guys, because people will go, oh, I don't want to, is Pat Mahomes playing? No, I'm going to tune out, or I'm not going to listen to this. And yet there'll be somebody on the field that'll do something in that game that we'll see October, November, December that helps win an AFC West title.
Sure, and that helps them separate, because there's players that are out here in camp. We've seen it throughout the years. Some players have great training camps, and you get all excited about them, and they're a guy that maybe you didn't know a whole lot about, and they're going to go out there and hopefully help this team because they had a great camp. But the preseason starts, and they kind of disappear. And the opposite also happens, where a player is having, a good camp, but kind of flying under the radar, but really flashes in the preseason, and they use that as a springboard for the rest of the preseason and the regular season. So this happens every single year. We see players that we didn't know a whole lot about coming into camp that end up making plays that help us win in the very end. And there's countless examples of this, particularly on special teams. You might not hear their name during the game, but they might make a great block or a tackle that helps us win a game, and they earn their role on this team in training camp and the preseason. So it's also football, and we've been talking about guys running around in shorts for months now. We can watch an actual football game even though it's just the preseason on Saturday.
Okay, but we got to go around the world before we dive into what you're looking for Friday night, what I'm looking for. But let me start. So the old high school reunion, right? My wife grew up in McPherson, Kansas. She's on their wall of fame, state champion, softball and track, and great player.
What's the mascot?
Basketball.
McPherson.
The Bull Pups.
The Bull Pups, okay.
Not the Bulldogs. McPherson College, the Bulldogs, but they're the Bull Pups.
Okay.
So the only day of camp I missed was Sunday, because we were going to go to a reunion 4 hours away, on 3.5 on Saturday night. But staunch Kingdom defenders in Austin, Texas, from Austin, Texas.
Let's go.
In her class showed up. Shout out to Brett and Bonnie Heidebrecht. She was Jones. She was a cheerleader with my wife. Brett was part of the football team. They are gigantic Kingdom Defender Chiefs fans. They have asserted that this all started with them.
Okay.
Because I remember seeing them in Mexico City. And remember how the 2019 season was kind of teetering on the brink?
Yeah.
Right after the October that Pat gets hurt and losing home games. And all of a sudden then Mexico City changed everything. We never lost again.
Won 9 in a row, I think.
And this couple, great couple, sharp people, said, we started it. I thought, you know what? Go ahead and keep that thought.
Listen.
Yeah.
You say that, the Chiefs win for 1,000 reasons. We're not discounting what they did. We need every single piece of this. There's a reason you and I are two of the most superstitious people on the planet that do the exact same thing every single time. I buy into it. You have to don't change anything. Okay? That sounds great.
Brett and Bonnie Heidebrecht, the reason the Chiefs have won 3 Super Bowl championships and been to every AFC championship game since Pat. Oh, no, this was out in 2019. So still the 6 with Pat.
We needed them to get over the hump.
We do, yeah.
Yeah.
So they didn't say anything about Super Bowl 59, but they did take credit for that. All right. Anyway, let's go around the world. What do you got?
8 today.
8?
Yeah, 8
nice.
today. So
for Christian Fulton, let's get him back on the field.
We'll hopefully see Christian Fulton soon. Hopefully. Can't wait to see what he can do. 8 today. So I met Troy from Richland, Iowa up here at camp. You familiar with Richland, Iowa?
I am not. Where's Richland, Iowa?
Oh, man, I didn't look it up. I figured you'd know.
Ooh, I don't.
I don't know. That's
Sorry,
some homework.
Richland.
All right, we'll
Let
find
us
out.
know, Kingdom Defenders.
But he was right up here by our tent. So shout out
But
to
you know what
Troy.
Iowa does? They have the smaller towns consolidate, but they don't call it like McMullen High School. It'll be like every town. Like I told you about Southeast Polk.
With ramps, and it should be ramps. Yeah.
But it'll be like, okay, this is Richland, and they go with, let's say, Smith Center and Blue Valley Northwest and McPherson. It would be R, S, C, BVN, M, lowercase c. Like, what high school is that?
And they all
so
share
anyway,
everything. Okay.
Iowa, you got that going for you.
We'll do some research, but shout out to you,
Yep.
Troy. Met Daniil from Pawnee City, Nebraska yesterday up here at camp. You ever been to Pawnee City,
I
Nebraska?
have, at the hometown of
Oh, man, I don't know.
Larry the Cable Guy.
Could have given me 1,000 guesses. I don't think I would have guessed
Larry the Cable Guy from Pawnee City, Nebraska, just north of Bern, Kansas.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, and Daniil, and met her whole family. They were awesome. Drove all the way here
Not Daniil
for
Hunter.
Chiefs game. Not Daniil Hunter.
Okay.
No, not Daniil Hunter. That'd be cool if Daniil Hunter wanted to show up.
Kingdom Defender, really?
You want to grab a helmet?
Yeah, you want to play?
Shout out to Liz in Peterborough, England. Been a fan since they were 11. You'll love this. They stumbled upon the Chiefs listening to the American Forces Network.
I love it.
When they were 11 years old, it was very difficult to follow along back then. They were a rugby fan, and listening to this on the radio decided this is very different from rugby. But over time, obviously, games started being streamed on the internet. They have no issues now. So
You just gave me chills with that, though. I know we kid around, but, man, Armed Forces Radio has done so much for down through the years. Love it.
Pretty
That's
cool.
a good one.
Yeah, shout out to you, Liz. All right, David. David lived in Laos for a while.
Yeah,
Or
Lao.
or however we want to go about it. This is kind of cool. So I heard from him. He just visited Sumatra, Indonesia.
That's where he lives?
He just visited there.
Okay.
And
Kingdom Defender meeting in Indonesia?
well, you'll like it because
Okay.
he was on a mission trip there.
Yeah.
And he met some people that asked him for a jersey from the best American football team. And you know what he did? He gave him a Chiefs jersey. And now they are like locked in, and they're super excited for the game in Brazil. They're going to watch it. So
Yay.
I get it. So
what jersey did they give him?
I'm assuming it was a Patrick Mahomes jersey. He didn't tell me. But anyway.
Wasn't a James Winchester jersey.
Either way, I mean, it's a Chiefs jersey. James Winchester, don't disparage James Winchester.
I
He's
am
been
not
to
disparaging.
how many playoff games has James Winchester been to? He's going to retire with the most ever.
He and Kelsey have the tied, I think, with the most ever.
Unbelievable. But David's out there doing the Lord's work, spreading Chiefs Kingdom.
Thank you.
Heard from Newton in Jacksonville, Florida, but originally from North Kansas City. Been in STM since 1963.
Yeah. Whoa.
Pretty
so
cool.
very first year.
Yep.
And he comes
At
back from
Municipal.
Jacksonville.
That's my understanding, yeah.
He gets a home game, though, that Monday nighter
Sure does.
against the Jags.
I'll be looking for you, Newton. Cole is in Great Bend, Kansas.
Home of the Panthers.
Is that Chase High School?
Chase Cats.
Chase Cats.
I mean, it's Cats, K-A-T-S.
See, he's the head coach there.
At Chase?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Coach, way to go, dog. So here's what's cool about Chase Cats, K-A-T-S. First of all, that's K, not C.
Okay.
And their mascot is Felix the cat from the cartoons.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
great.
And so on their helmet and on their stuff is Felix the cat.
You know who would love that is Kale and equipment. He needs a Felix the Cat helmet.
Oh my gosh,
That'd
we
be
got to
super
tell
cool.
Kale about this.
That's pretty unique.
You know what else is it? What's big about Chase?
What?
And the Cats?
What?
Home of one of the better NFL players of tight end of all time,
Tight end.
Paul Kaufman.
Really?
Played for the Packers with Lynn Dickey. They were both K-Staters. Paul played at K-State, was a monster there. And then he goes on, played for the Chiefs for a while.
Okay.
And so Paul Kaufman, a great tight end, great human being, terrific family. In fact, his
Chase
kids,
Kaufman and Carson Kaufman.
those are kids, played at Mizzou.
And then Carson was at K-State, wasn't he?
He was a quarterback, and then the tight end at Mizzou played for the Bengals. That's Paul Kaufman from Chase, Kansas, home of the Cats, K-A-T-S, Felix the Cat.
All right. Well, shout out to Great Bend and shout out to Cole. Josh is in, I'm going to butcher this, Dunedin, New Zealand. It probably has a really cool pronunciation, and I'm butchering
You got me on that one.
He's in New Zealand. I need to go to New Zealand, so let us know, Josh, where we should go. And then Larry is in Delaware, coming to the Raiders game in October. You know, Larry, you might not realize the influence the state of Delaware has on this team, but with Brett Veach and Matt Nagy, Delaware is represented well in the Chiefs Kingdom.
Yes,
so,
the Blue Hens are very much here. Now, where in Delaware? Newark, Delaware?
Just said Delaware. I might have scribbled it down quickly, and he did tell me. I don't know. But we need more information from Larry. But anyway, Delaware. Never been to Delaware. Should check it out.
No, it's one of the states I haven't been in. Tammy and I were going through this. Like, how many states have you not been in? And Delaware is one of them.
Yeah.
It's like right there, Baltimore.
It's
just
close.
Like zoom over and do it. Yeah.
We'll check it out one of these days. Yeah. Anyway, that's all I got for today.
Blue Hens,
Go
baby.
Blue Hens.
Okay, what are you looking for in the game Saturday night?
Yeah, again, it's just to see guys elevate, right? So there's some position group battles that we've been watching that you can only evaluate so much in training camp. And again, you have to see the guys go out there and play in a game. You want to go back and forth, or do you want me to just run through
Let's go back and forth.
Okay.
Just give me your first.
Well,
it doesn't have to be your top priority, but just you're going, you're going to get on the plane to fly to Phoenix, Sky Harbor Airport, to go to the awesome State Farm Stadium, which was the sign of the glorious Super Bowl 57 victory. Thank you.
And it's also, it will be air conditioned, which is great. Compared to last year's first preseason game where I was a puddle of water on the sideline in Jacksonville, Florida. Listen, in Newton, I mean no disrespect to Jacksonville, I don't want to spend time in Jacksonville in August and be outside for 4 hours. It was brutal. Jacksonville in December sounds great. Anyway, one thing I'm looking for.
But you also need to know that at one time, Matt McMullen worked for the Arizona Diamondbacks.
I did.
You're going home, man.
Yeah, go to check out Chase Field, the old stomping grounds. I had a great time in Arizona. Anyway, just let me hear. One guy I'm watching on this weekend is Tyquan Thornton, and he's been one of the stories of training camp so far. If you've been following any Chiefs coverage at all, I'm sure you've heard this ad nauseum at this point. 4.28 speed, big-time prospect just a couple of years ago. The Patriots take him in the second round. Didn't work out in New England, joined us on the practice squad last year, and now he's been having an awesome off-season training program and training camp. And one of the kind of checkpoints for him, because he was crushing it in shorts, what can he do with the pads on? Well, I think it's fair to say he's continued his ascension with the pads on. He's looked really good. Well, the next step now is doing it in a game. So we'll see if he can go out there and play well. I imagine he'll get a bunch of reps because he's fighting to make this team. But Tyquan Thornton is a player I'm excited to watch this weekend. Yeah,
I'm with you there. If he's a sixth wide receiver, seventh, sixth, who knows what's going to happen with Rashee Rice, he must be a special teams contributor. Best if he's a four-core contributor, but we'll see him when the lights on and refs and everything going on in Arizona playing full speed. Mine, and this seems cliche, but it's the entire offensive line. Now, follow me on this. We know about Josh Simmons. I get a sense, Coach has not talked to me yet about player rotation, but sometimes we'll see, because of the offensive line, and particularly the two young guys on the left side, he may play Pat 4 to 6 snaps, but then keep those guys out there for Minshew's first snaps.
Sure.
We've seen that happen before. So it's not just Josh Simmons, Kingsley Suamaitea. It's the rest of the group against a really good defensive front for Arizona, because they've got depth there. Check the dudes that they have. I don't know who all will play, but it doesn't matter. They've got depth there. But then, Matt, I'm really interested to see Mike Caliendo, Hunter Norzad, Wanye Morris, down the line, Jalen Moore. I'm going to leave somebody out here, but the rest of those guys, because in the second half last year of preseason games, it didn't go well.
They struggled.
And what will they do on Saturday night? And you're thinking, why is that important? That's why you watch or listen. We'll talk about it, both of us. But you've got to develop, at the very least, a swing tackle. I think we got that. But you also have to develop line depth. Look what's happened over the last several years. So, to me, that's first and foremost, I know that's on everybody's list, but I kind of want to look at it a little deeper at the second or third level.
Yeah, and against an actual opponent, which will be great. You can only see so much out here in practice. And the offensive line, for the most part, has impressed me, and I'm very excited about it. And not just the starting five, but also the depth, because you're right. One of the takeaways of the Jacksonville game last year in the preseason was that our offensive line depth was struggling. And unfortunately, we kind of saw that reveal itself over the course of the season, right? Well, if your depth looks good in the preseason, you feel good about the fact that if you lose a player or two for an extended amount of time during the regular season, you at least have guys that can go in there, play, and keep everybody above water. Another player I'm looking forward to watching this weekend is Noel Williams, the corner out of Cal. So I like the Chiefs' depth in the secondary a lot, but you're only an injury or two away from having to put a lot of guys into action that maybe haven't played a whole lot. And Noel Williams is a player that I'm really excited about in general for what he can do for this team, not just in the future, but also this year. And get him in there with some reps against a Cardinals offense and see what he can do. I'm curious how early he'll play in this game, but a lot of ball skills coming out of college, a bunch of interceptions, great against the run. You can't really show all that in practice, but what can you do against an opponent? So Noel Williams is a player I'm looking forward to watching.
And let me take that a step further. I'm really interested in all 7 rookies in this game.
Oh, yeah.
All are healthy. All will play. All could contribute the first week in Brazil. But we've already mentioned Josh Simmons, and you mentioned, I'm with you on Noel Williams, but you go right down the line here. What's Ashton Gelati look like in the snaps that he gets? We're excited about him. What's Omar Norman Lott look like in the snaps he'll get? Jeffrey Boss has dealt with injuries, but he's been back on the field. We'll see him. Rashard Smith, we'll see him as a true running back probably, and then Jalen Royals. Royals has been impressive out here. You and I have been excited. I'm excited about this 25 class. I see some of the 22 class in them. But what happens in a game?
Yeah.
And so I look for all 7 of those guys to play a little bit, if not some, even more than that. But I'm curious what they'll look like. Do they look like what they've looked like out here? And if they do, then we can really get excited.
Yeah, Jalen Royals has been great in this camp. He's been strong and physical. Can he make some of those catches over the middle against the Cardinals? And Jeffrey Bassa, I bet he has an opportunity to be the green dot on defense for the second or third team. Like, how does he do commanding the defense against an NFL opponent, even though it's just the preseason? So super fired up to watch those guys. I'll give you a deep cut as well.
Yeah.
I'm excited to watch Cooper McDonald and Brandon George this weekend. Those are both linebackers in a stacked linebacker room. Cooper McDonald signed with this team as a tryout player during rookie minicamp. He showed up with 50 other tryout players and stood out, earned a contract, and he's made plays. Coach Spagnuolo mentioned him the other day, unprompted, because he keeps standing out every single day. And Brandon George has like a 42.5-inch vertical. He was an undrafted free agent out of Pitt. These are players you could see helping us on special teams. And again, we were talking about it earlier today. The whole idea of Chiefs training camp, it does not matter how you got here. You could be a first-round pick or a tryout player. If you go out here and earn it, you've earned it, and you're on this team. We've seen it over the years. Echo Boydo made this team as a tryout player a couple years ago and helped us on special teams en route to winning the Super Bowl. So for Cooper McDonald, he's a great story, but also he could help us. I don't know. And that journey for him continues here with the preseason. How cool for him that he didn't get a call after the draft was over. Didn't get a call. He wasn't going to go anywhere or sign with anybody. His only opportunity was a tryout, and he's going to have a chance to go play in an NFL game this weekend, and I think he has a chance to stick around. We'll see.
Yeah, took a circuitous path in college, 3 different colleges, but he's been impressive here. And George ran Pitt's defense for 6 years. In fact, he's older than Felix and Udike
Wow.
Uzama, and he's only a month younger than I looked at this, I think, than George Karlaftis.
Wow.
And here he is as a rookie, right? It's the Bo Nix
Sure.
dynamic.
And that experience helps you, right? He doesn't look like
No
he's,
question.
drowning out there. It looks like he knows kind of what he's doing, and that experience helps out.
Crockpot guys. I'll just close with a couple. The running back situation is one to really look at.
Sure.
We mentioned already some. We know about Pacheco. What's Elijah Mitchell got? Is there some juice there? Is that 49ers juice we can see? We've already mentioned Rashard Smith. We can go right on down the line. Even former Mizzou running back Elijah Young. And then Carson Steele, who right now is fighting, man, for his life. And then I'll close with Issa Pole, who's a tackle. This is going to be late in the game. I don't know how many snaps he'll get, but he's a crockpot guy. He's in the McDonald and the George discussion because he's a developmental player, but we have seen this team thrive with developmental guys.
I'm glad you mentioned the 16-man practice squad at the top, because just because a player doesn't make the team initially out of camp doesn't mean they won't help us down the line. And these guys like McDonald and Pole, they kind of fall into that category where just if they get cut out of camp, they might still have an opportunity to stick around for a while as part of that practice squad. And we've seen it over the years where players like Nico Remigio or Jack Cochran comes to mind, Cam Jones. If they don't make it, you might still see them down the road. Nico, I think, was cut out of camp last year and still ended up being our primary kick return man the latter half of the season, because you stick around, you're on that practice squad, you have injuries or you have a need for that player, you call him on up, and before you know it, he now seems like a player that's part of this team's future. So that's why making this team is important, but also look at it like the practice squad is an extension of this roster, because these young players that are fighting for a spot, they're also fighting for one of those practice squad spots just to be in this building, to be in this culture, because you never know when they might get the call to go up to the big team.
Again, Remigio, if you like the 63-yard return in the playoffs, you're going, oh, I paid attention during the preseason. It's that guy. And who's that guy or those guys coming up for the 2025 season? So it's click and drag. Just have your player construction folder, click and drag. The next big push, the third push we're in right now, and then Saturday night's game in Glendale, Arizona. It all matters. It all goes into trying to decide who will be on the 53 and the 69. Big thanks to the folks at Mosaic. They're incredible for here at camp. They're our official training camp sponsor. They're also our healthcare provider. They are this was really big for them to be a part of the Mayo Clinic Care Network, really big, investing in the future of healthcare and investing in their people, their technology, and their services. But what they do is they keep local care local. And if you're in the four-state area, you know about Mosaic. He's Matt McMullen. I'm Mitch Holthus. Click and drag. Continue the player evaluation as we get ready to close out this phase of camp and head to Arizona.